And someone said to me, you know what? If you certainly pull this off, your life is going to change. I was like, yeah, whatever.
God,
that's
an intense thing to be told, that, isn't it? Then you got the iconic shots of you crossing the line. Yeah. And you're looking back and
going, smacking it. Or was I looking across and going, I did it.
There's the bit where you look back and is it Rupp? Is it?
Yeah, Rupp, the American lad. And at that moment, I just couldn't believe I won it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even know where that come from. I'm smacking my head.
Yeah, why are you smacking your head?
I don't know. I don't know. You know where it's
excitement, yeah.
Can you talk us through the day you became an Olympic champion? I want to know before race, pre-race. What are you doing? Like, I'd be hitting myself all day. I'd be going around.
You're shitting a brick, man.
Oh, yeah.
Of course you are.
Right, okay.
You put on a bravery face. Yeah. You're like, yeah. But you are, because you know what the Olympics are about. You know that's the moment that you have a chance to be able to do something. And for me, failing in Beijing, not making a final, and waiting for 4 years, that was like that's still in my head. And I was in a training camp, coming back, you feel good, and then people talk about it, because I was the poster boy, me and Jess. I think there were obviously not people were saying, oh, they're going to win this, they're going to win it. They didn't know what kind of shape we're in. Yeah. We're in decent shape, but I think we had a lot of pressure to carry that. And to be able to do it, oh, mate, you are shitting it. Yeah. So I turned up the night before, 2 days before my race from the camp, and you get your accreditation, you go through, and then I went to the stadium just to do a couple of strides.
What time do you get to the stadium?
In the evening, so ideally I was racing about 8:30, so I'll get that similar time so I can just feel good. And at that moment, there are people coming out the warm-up track, and you're like, and then someone said to me, you know what? If you certainly pull this off, your life is going to change. I was like, yeah, whatever.
God, that's an intense thing to be told, that, isn't it?
And then I was like, didn't believe it, because I didn't want to believe it. I kind of half expected it might change something, but I didn't think it would change the way it did. And then when I won the 10,000 meters, that Super Saturday, was me, Jess and Greg, that 45-minute window, oh mate. And then after the race, I stayed up for another week because I was competing in 5,000, waiting to see my family, and just amount of support, amount of people, oh my goodness. And my wife was heavily pregnant with my twin girls. Yeah. And then I remember going back to Teddington, and the paparazzi follow me, go restaurant, people were just showing so much love. Yeah. I was getting freebies, I was getting baby stuff, I was getting Arsenal stuff, I was getting letters. I was like, what? There's nothing I could do wrong at that moment.
How hard is that for you to have then to live with like paparazzi following you and stuff like that, being such a humble, normal bloke, and then all of a sudden cameras, autographs, selfies, this, that, and the other? Was that something you enjoyed? Did you take that?
Honestly, I enjoyed it because at times it was hard, but it comes with it. That's what comes with it. Yeah, right? We're athletes. That's what it's about. You know, that's you. You've done something amazing, and I think a lot of the time, as I said, when you're a football player, when you go on the other side, you get a lot of stick. I wasn't getting any stick. I was getting so much
just love, yeah.
And positive energy. And I enjoyed it, honestly. As I said, it was hard at times for my wife and my kids because they just want to be them. And it was like, oh, yeah, that's my favorite kids. That's your kids. It's hard for them. But I enjoyed it, honestly. As I said, well, what can I say? I can't believe it's that long ago, but it comes with it. You got to just take it, right?
Do your kids realise how much of a legend their dad is?
Nah, I'm just a dad, mate. Dad, you're embarrassing me. My daughter goes, oh, drop me off here, Dad. I'm like, oh, come on. And then I'm purposely pressing the horn. I'm like, give me away.
Have you had any moments where they thought, you know what, this is cool? Or are they just always like, no?
Do they watch back your wins and stuff like that?
My son now watches back a little bit, and he tells me a bit more information than I know.
Right, yeah.
And he's like, Dad, do you know you run the last K-List? Do you know you so-and-so in the race? And now he's aware of other athletes because he's into running and my daughter. But we're just the parents, man.
Right, that's so cool though, isn't it? Your son taking an interest in that and knowing so much about it. So it's sharing that passion. When you won the 10K, you won with a time of 27. Do you remember the exact time?
27:38. Don't know.
I don't even know the time when he's winning gold medals.
You made yourself slower.
27:30 and 40 milliseconds.
Yeah.
And did you win it? I think you won it by points. Oh no, that was the 5K, right? So the 5K time was 27 minutes. No, that is the 10K time.
10K,
you won by 0.6 of a second.
Yeah.
How insane is it that your life
Change.
changes by 0.6 of a second?
Mate, it's incredible. As I said, like we talk about this moment, 0.6, but I remember in the World Championship beforehand, not even getting a medal. I was like half a second. I was like finished 7th, half a second behind the medal. And no one like remembers that. But then again, like when you make it count, that's what matters, 1 or 2%
Yeah.
of a thingy. And we're talking about 0.0 something, right?
Yeah.
And imagine how many years you were training for that moment.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's like we have a laugh about it, but it could have come down to like the socks and stuff like that. Like, well, 0.6 of a second, like little minimal things like that.
Nothing. And then if you think about it, and if you calculate, break it down for 25 laps around the track.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
It's not even what is it? You a lap. You're talking about maybe like Fum's whip. I don't know.
Mad. And then you got the iconic shots of you crossing the line.
Yeah.
And you're looking back and
going smacking it, or was I looking across and going?
Yeah,
I did it.
There's the bit where you look back and is it Rupp? Is it?
Yeah, Rupp. Yeah, the American lad.
Yeah. So was he your training
He
partner?
was my training partner. We had a good partner. Like,
did you?
with him, honestly, as I said, we had same song played in our wedding. I'm like, what? That same song, Genuine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, we had so much in common.
Yeah.
And I think when he seeing me win and him coming second was the best thing. Because
Yeah.
we put our body through so much, like years of training and being able to. I was so happy for him, and at that moment, I just couldn't believe I won it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even know where that come from. I'm smacking my head.
Yeah. Why are you smacking your head?
I don't know. I don't know. You know when
It's excitement, yeah. It's like you couldn't believe it.
You couldn't believe it. It's just like we all do silly things.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't even know why I was smacking my head.
That's such an iconic moment, though, isn't it? Like, how often do you watch it back?
I don't watch it back that much, but when I was training and getting back into racing, or sometimes I wasn't quite motivated, I watch back my races to just motivate me.
Yeah.
But now, as I said, retired, I don't watch it back that much.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm sure it's on YouTube though.
Oh, mate, it's got millions of views on
Serious?
YouTube. Yeah, I think you should try and get some of that ad revenue, Mo.
Oh, mate,
you're
listen,
probably entitled
YouTube.
to it.
It's my race, right?
That's it. When you look back and you see that Rupp's in second, there's a lovely moment. I noticed there was a comment on the YouTube video itself where Galen shouts Mo, like because he's obviously buzzing that you've won, and you're sort of looking at each other and you share a smile. That must have been what goes through your head when you see it's him behind you. Because do you know it's him behind you? You don't.
Could you just feel someone there?
You could feel somebody's there. But
Right.
often is that when you look back in the field, it was Kenenisa Bikili, it was Gabri Mascot, it was Jaylan. There was so many guys that were capable of, coming first or second. No one was guaranteed.
No.
And at that moment, when you cross the line first and you see your training partner, you're like, wow, I just did it. And then you did it. And it was amazing, honestly. As I said, he's such an amazing athlete for what he's done. And I learned a lot from him, training with him.
Mm-hmm.
And we were different. He was one of these guys, when he was training, mate, he'll give you everything in training.
Really, yeah.
He will just
Competitive,
give you that, boom. And sometimes I have to tell myself, just like, okay, let him. and then coming down to that, him actually, winning the silver, and then he comes back again in Rio when I did the double again, doing it in a marathon, was like, wow.
Yeah.
You did it in a marathon. I haven't done it in a marathon.
That's insane. So in London, you win the double, don't you? Win the gold for the 5,000, the 10,000, and then you do it again 4 years later in Rio.
Yeah.
How do you? Have you heard of Arrival Fallacy? Do you know what this is? So it's like, because we speak about it a lot on the podcast. It's like, and our listeners are probably bored of us talking about this, but when people talk about it, they actually use Olympic gold medalist as the example. So it's like you train your whole life to get to this one point, but so every single day you're going in the back of your mind, I want to win a medal, Yeah, 365, that's all you think. So some people, when they get there, like there's a famous example, Tyson Fury, when he became heavyweight champion of the world, the next day, it's well documented, he became depressed because he lost that sort of, I've done it now. Like, what do I do? But you're an exception to the rule in many ways, because you win the double in London and then 4 years later you win the double again, you retain it. How do you keep motivated when you've already done it?
Yeah, I think, as I said, like, you have to have a dream, you have to have a vision, because if you didn't, you can't. And sometimes as an athlete, You know when you watch a game of football, what's your favorite team, and you know someone's got that drive, and you're like, it's got that, and you can see it. And athletics is one of those. If you don't have that, it's done.
Right.
And it's important for you to stay motivated, stay hungry, and you can't say, I'm a reigning champion, I'm going to stay as a champion. You got to be willing to go, you know what, I can get beat, and it can happen. And for me, staying on top of it is just thinking about my position, what I need to do. Because I feel like, when you have a target on your back, it's so much more harder.
Yeah.
It's so much more harder. It's like someone throwing your darts at you and you're just standing there and you're going, dum.
Right.
You're doing every move, and you make that sudden move, it's done.
Everyone wants what you've got, don't they? Everyone's coming for you.
Yeah.
Are you moving the goal in your head constantly? So you're thinking, I want a gold. I've got a gold. Now I want another gold. Like, are you just
even
constantly?
like when I crossed London 2012, I was like, I want to retain this. I never thought like I'm going to go and celebrate. I was like, can I retain this?